Hello, my name is Dorothy McFadden. I'm one of the registered dietitians who works with the St. Luke's Bariatric Program. Today we're going to talk about produce, specifically the produce that you're going to see during the fall months. I think when anyone thinks about the fall, they're going to think about apples. Believe it or not, there's more than 2,500 varieties of apples grown in the U.S. It seems like every year I see a new variety introduced. Currently, right now, some of my favorite apples are the Honeycrisp, the Gala. I also like Granny Smith, but I remember growing up, you pretty much only had a couple choices of like Red Delicious and Golden Delicious, and now there is such a variety. There's the Fiji apples, there is Pink Lady apples, a huge, huge variety of apples to choose from. They're best consumed between late August and October. Your average apple, about a cup, is going to be 65 calories. It's going to give you fiber, and it's going to give you vitamin C. You really need to make sure you wash your apples very, very well to get the pesticide residue off. The other option is to choose an organic apple so you don't have as much exposure to pesticides. How do you choose a good apple? You want it to smell fresh. It should not be mushy. Avoid apples with bruises or any kind of damage on them. Store unwashed in a plastic bag. Do not store with lettuce, cucumbers, or greens because this will increase the spoilage. It'll make the apples spoil faster. You should store with other pears, peaches, and plums to ripen. And I highly recommend taking an outing and going to a local orchard and picking your own apples. They are the most delicious right off the tree. You can go to www.pickyourown.org and you can find local orchards where you can go and pick your own apples. Popular varieties. Gala. Gala is mild and sweet and crisp, best eaten just raw. Golden Delicious is mild and sweet. It's an all-purpose apple. Granny Smith is very tart and crisp. It's good for baking and salads or eaten raw. I like to pair Granny Smiths with peanut butter. McIntosh is sweet and juicy. It's good for juices, sauces, and in salads. Cortland is tart and crisp, and that is also good for baking. You wouldn't want to use a McIntosh in baking because it would get too soft and too mushy. How do you prepare an apple? Well, homemade applesauce. We go to the orchard, we take all the skins off, we chop them up, and we cook them down on the stove. You just add in a little bit of cinnamon. If you want to give a little bit of sweetness, add some raisins or cranberries. So that's a great way to make it homemade applesauce. You can also bake them, remove the cores, leave it about a ½ inch at the bottom in the apple. Pour a small amount of Spenda or Truvia, blend brown sugar and light butter into the hole made by removing the core. Add 3/4 cup of water to the pan and bake at 375 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. And again, like I mentioned earlier, slicing and eating them with peanut butter or PB2 is delicious. Pumpkins. In the fall, everything is pumpkin anymore. Pumpkin-flavored coffee, pumpkins for decorations, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin bagels. Everything is pumpkin in the fall. Pumpkins are a good source of your beta-carotenes and your alpha-carotenes, which are converted to vitamin A in your body. Very good for your eyes and your skin. They're also a good source of vitamin C and riboflavin. Pumpkins, you can toast the seeds, which is a really neat thing to do. And they have phytosterols in them, tocopherols, carotenoids, folate, phosphorus, selenium, and zinc in the toasted seeds. So you still get some nutrition out of the seeds too. You want to select pumpkins that are firm and heavy for their size. You want to store in a cool, dark place, and they're good for up to 2 months. 3/4 cup of pumpkin is 25 calories, 6 grams of carb, and 2 grams of fiber. And you want to make sure when you go and you get a pumpkin that you're not getting one that's designed for decoration, because definitely those that are grown to be used for like jack-o'-lanterns have a lot less meat inside, and they're not designed to be eaten. You want to get a pumpkin that was actually grown, to make a pie or to, eat. Butternut squash. I love butternut squash. It could be substituted for pumpkin in most recipes. It's a good source of calcium, magnesium, potassium. Again, you get a lot of the beta-carotenes in that and vitamin C. You want to choose squash that's heavy for its size. You can store it for up to a month. A ½ cup is 50 calories. One of my favorite ways to eat butternut squash is to, peel it and cut it up into cubes and roast it. And you can flavor it with a variety of different herbs and garlic, or you can also make it a little bit sweeter with cinnamon. It's delicious. So again, how to eat butternut squash. You can make it a soup out of it. You can add it to stews. You can steam and drizzle with olive oil. You can use it in curries. You can bake and stuff with apples and ham. You can mash with yams, season with ginger and cinnamon, or cubed and roasted like I just mentioned. It's very versatile. Acorn squash. Acorn squash is shaped like an acorn. It's yellow, dark green, tan, or orange. You want to choose squash that's dull and heavy. Avoid anything with spots or cracks in it. You can store acorn squash up to 3 months. Excellent source of potassium. You can get thiamine and vitamin C and fiber from it. Half a cup gives you 30 calories. How to eat an acorn squash. You can slice and steam it with cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. You can make soup out of it. You can hollow out squash halves and you can put in chutney and sauces and things like that. You can cube it and roast it with parsnips, carrots, potatoes, and onions with like all your root vegetables and coat lightly with oil. I've done that before. Delicious. You can puree it and use it as a sauce for meats or on pasta. But it has a really neat presentation, you know, if you cook it and then put it in hollowed out squash halves. Cauliflower. You want to choose cauliflower that's compact, creamy white, with bright green, firmly attached leaves. If you start seeing brown spots or discoloration on it, you know, you don't want to pick that up. You have to refrigerate cauliflower. It's best if you put it in a plastic bag, but it does not have a long shelf life. You want to eat it within 5 days. A sixth of a medium cauliflower gives you 25 calories, 2 grams of fiber, and it's also a good source of vitamin C and folate. Eating cauliflower. You can steam cauliflower until tender and then cut into pieces and blend with low-fat milk or yogurt and a bit of butter to make like a pseudo mashed potato. Add salt and pepper and whip until smooth. You can pour into a baking dish and add a little bit of paprika and bake until bubbly. In a large pan, you can heat a small amount of olive oil over medium-high heat. Add some cauliflower, onion, curry powder. Stir until it has coated the cauliflower and cook for about 6 minutes. You can roast cauliflower until crispy and caramelized and toss with lemon and Parmesan cheese. That's a really delicious way to make cauliflower. Easy to make. Pineapple. Pineapple was originally from Central and South America, even though we equate it with Hawaii. You want to choose pineapples with dark green leaves that are heavy for their size. Stay away from any that are soft or dark spots, and stay away from like ones with dry-looking leaves. You want to eat as soon as possible. You know, once you refrigerate it, the cut pieces you should eat within 2 to 3 days. It's an excellent source of C. Very sweet, very delicious. 2 slices give you 50 calories. It is a little bit higher in calories than some of the other fruits because of its sweetness. Different ways to make pineapple. You can put it in a salsa. Mix it with bell peppers, onions, hot peppers, lemon juice, and cilantro. And you can use the salsa on top of fish, which is delicious. I've done that before. Put it on tilapia or cod. And you also can, when you make a topping for your seafood, you can add in some garlic or other fruits and vegetables. You can use your pineapple in a tropical salad mix with mandarin oranges, bananas, mangoes, kiwi, whatever your preferences are. Cottage cheese and pineapple goes very well together. You can grill it on kebabs. It gets caramelized and very sweet that way. And you can make your own like Hawaiian pizza if you want, you know, to get a whole wheat pita and put some sauce on it, low-fat cheese, pineapple, Canadian bacon or lean ham, and you have a healthy Hawaiian pizza that you can have too. Pears. Pears are very good. You can also pick your own pears. You want to choose firm pears and check the neck for ripeness daily by applying pressure to the stem end of the pear. If it yields, it's ripe. So you want to make sure your pear is ripe, because if you have it when it's too hard, it's like mealy and doesn't have any taste. Store unripened pears in a paper bag at room temperature, and that ripens them up really nice and makes them good and sweet. Once they're ripe, you want to put them in the fridge because then they turn really fast. A medium pear is about 100 calories. It's a good source of C and fiber. Suggestions for pears: you can eat them raw. You can substitute them for apples in various recipes. You can have poached pears. You can put it in a salad, pear slices over greens with nuts. You can put it in chutney and salsa, use it over grilled pork and chicken. You can put it in a grilled cheese sandwich. You can pair it with different cheeses too, like hard Parmesan cheese and sliced pears is a very nice combination. Cranberries. Cranberries were originally called cranberries because the flowers resemble cranes. You want to choose cranberries that are firm but not shriveled. You can refrigerate them for up to 2 months, or you can freeze them. They're a good source of vitamin C and fiber. A half a cup is only 25 calories. Again, you know, cranberries are one of the more tart fruits, so they're not as sweet, so they aren't as high in calories, and you get 3 grams of fiber. How to enjoy your cranberries? You can bake them with apples. You can make a cranberry ice. You mix it with water and freeze. You can put it in like a raw relish, cranberries, apples, and oranges, you know, as a relish. You can make homemade cranberry sauce. You can do dried cranberries and trail mix with grains and nuts and maybe a tiny bit of dark chocolate to flavor your trail mix if you're going to go for a long fall hike. So there are a lot of different ways you can use cranberries. Radicchio. Radicchio is often an overlooked leaf vegetable, but it's beautiful in color. You want to look for bright maroon, red, purple leaves that are young, moist, and tender. You store it unwashed in the coldest section of your refrigerator for 2 or 3 days. It has a very short shelf life. 2 whole cups is only 20 calories, a gram of fiber. It's a good source of C, folate, and copper. Using radicchio in the kitchen, you can roast it. Preheat your oven to 450. Rinse your radicchio wedges in cold water. Drizzle with olive oil and sprinkle with thyme, salt, and pepper. Roast until wilted, about 12 minutes. Turn over and roast until tender, about another 8 minutes. Put some balsamic vinegar on it. Delicious. Or you can saute it over medium heat. Add a little oil and swirl. Toss in garlic, radicchio, salt. Coat with the oil, and that takes about 10 minutes till it's nice and tender. I've included some resources for you to get more information. Fruitandvegiemorematter.org is a great website to learn about different fruits and vegetables, what nutrition is in them, how to prepare them, what times of years are best to choose them. You can go on to Local Harvest to see local places where you can get fresh fruits and vegetables. What I can honestly say in the Valley is that we have a lot of farmers markets that you can go to and orchards where you can pick your own. So enjoy your fall produce, and thank you for joining me today.